live now in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, friends. Welcome to the Golfmonger Show. I'm your host, Brian Steffen. I am the Golfmonger. It is Masters Thursday. Welcome to the Masters, everybody. If you're not excited about golf right now, you're not a golf fan, get the hell off my show. Stop listening. Stop right now. Get out. This is awesome. I've been trying to watch stuff online as early as you could get the coverage today. I watched the ceremonial tee shots today of Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, and Gary Player. And let me tell you, Gary Player can still rip it down the fairway. Right after he does his 1,000 push-ups and sit-ups or whatever he does every morning to stay in shape. But the sun is shining. Looks like about near perfect conditions at Augusta today, which is the players probably should take advantage of because the weatherman's saying that as we get into the weekend, we could be seeing some rain, which will definitely change things, change the course. Obviously, will give even a bigger advantage to the long hitters than they already have at Augusta National. But what a great week of golf! You can have the debate all the time, and I don't know if our producer Jeff Gilder, who's the man behind the glass pushing the buttons and keeping me on the air, he and I have ever had this conversation or not. But is the Masters your favorite major?
It's mine, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think it's mine too. I'm a big fan of the Open Championship, and I think just because it's different. Like for us in America, it's, you got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to watch it. The TV coverage comes on. They're playing a totally different kind of golf over there than traditionally, we see here in the States, with the link style and the wind. And it's July, so we're all sitting in, especially here in the southern part of the country, it's 87 degrees when we wake up at 5 in the morning to watch it, and they're wearing sweaters and jackets because it's 50 degrees probably, wherever in Europe that they're playing. And it runs a very, very close neck and neck. I always try to say, because everybody says that the Masters is their favorite, and just for the sake of being different, sometimes I try to say that I think I like the Open Championship more, but I think I'm with just about everybody else in the world. I think the Masters is the best. So, as we come on the air, right here, just after 1:30 Eastern time, I'm going to take a quick look at the leaderboard, and Jeff is kicking himself in our fantasy league. He dropped yesterday Charlie Hoffman, who went out to a 5-under start today.
And I dropped Justin Rose,
who is at 4-under through 14 right now. Yeah, Russell Henley is finished in the house at 4-under. Then you got Bill Haas, Paul Casey at -3, a whole host of guys at 2-under, including the likes of Patrick Reed, defending champion Bubba Watson, Dustin Johnson, Phil Mickelson, a lot of familiar names there. The Big Easy, Ernie Els is 2-under through 6 holes. So, the first couple of days, for the veteran guys at Augusta, the first couple of days, you should be zero surprised when you see Phil Mickelson, Ernie Els, Fred Couples, Lee Westwood, Tiger. I mean, any of the veteran guys, you name them, that have played here many times, whether they've won it or at least had moderate success here or not, you should have zero surprise that they're in the mix in the first couple of days. But just like any tournament, the cream, you got to play well for 4 days, and the cream will rise over the weekend. And as the old saying goes, the Masters doesn't start till the back nine on Sunday.
Yeah.
I always laughed and said, well, then what the hell have we been doing for the other 3.5 days? You spend the other 3, and to an extent, all golf tournaments are like that. You got to get yourself into position to be able to make a run. And I think the reason for saying that is there's a lot of scoring holes on the back nine at Augusta. You got to, if you can survive Amen Corner, then you've got 15, which is damn near the easiest hole on the course every year, the par 5. They showed a stat already today. It's playing at 4.2.
Wow.
It's playing like a tough par 4. Yeah, it's out. You got the par 3 16, or it's just interesting to see the same names. I mean, you don't hear many people when you're talking about the Masters saying, "Well, watch out for so and so." If it's not a house, I mean, it's chalk at the Masters every year. You talk about Bubba, you talk about Rory, you talk about Phil, you talk about Jordan Spieth, we're talking about Jimmy Walker, we're talking about Rory McIlroy, Heinrich Stenson, Jason Day. I mean, are we talking about anybody outside the top 20 in the world? Probably not.
No.
I mean, because when do guys like that win at Augusta? They don't, right? I mean, save for the, you get Angel Cabrera a few years back, as a veteran. You got, Trevor Immelman's really the one that came out of nowhere a while back when he won it in, what was it, 06, I think he won. But other than that, I mean, if you go back the last 20 years, it's household names. Bubba Watson, Adam Scott, Bubba Watson, Charles Schwartzel, Phil Mickelson, Zach Johnson, Phil Mickelson, Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, Mike Weir. Mike Weir's another one that kind of came out of left field back in 2003. Tiger Woods, Vijay Singh, Jose Murillo Thauble, Mark O'Meara, Tiger Woods, Nick Faldo, Ben Crenshaw, Jose Murillo Thauble, Bernard Longer, Fred Couples. So if you go back to 92, Nate, how many of those names did I name, Jeff, that you figure the average golf fan probably knows every one of them, right?
Yep.
Maybe not Trevor, probably not Trevor Immelman, maybe not Mike Weir. But other than that, those are household names in the golf world. So you shouldn't be surprised, as we've been prognosticating for weeks, getting ready for this and talking about it. Who are you talking about? You're talking about, can Sergio finally come through and get one? Can you talk about, you're talking about, can Phil get back to form, win his 4th green jacket? Hell, that's the reason why anybody's even mentioning that maybe Tiger has a chance. If this was any other major, and Tiger hadn't played at all for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then he shows up at the U.S. Open, nobody would say he's got a shot to win.
Yeah.
Or at the Open Championship, or at the PGA. Nobody. But they're saying it at Augusta because it's Augusta. It's the only major where you play the same place all the time. So if the course fits you and you play well there, you can play well there every year when you show up. That's what, I mean, on Tuesday when we were doing fantasy golf with Jeff Deal, how in the world do I not pick Bubba Watson on my fantasy golf team? I mean, the guy loves playing there. He's won twice already. He loves the layout. It sets up for his game, the way he likes to move the ball around. He's a short game wizard. How do you not pick him? I've said before, you and I have had this conversation, Bubba Watson's going to win 4 or 5 majors in his career, and they're probably all going to be at the Masters.
Yeah, very possibly could be.
He's not going to win the U.S. Open because the way when he gets to spraying the ball a bit, he can't handle the rough, and he gets in his head, and he can't do anything. The way he hits the ball and likes to move it and shape it, the Open Championship does the conditions over there just don't quite suit his game. The PGA is one that maybe he could win or whatever, but I think by the end of the summer he's out of gas. Doesn't necessarily always play that well at the end of the year. He's going to win 5 or 6 majors, and I think 4 or 5, all of them are going to be in Augusta. He's going to have a rack full of green jackets. And no other majors, which will be pretty unique, because if you look at the list of multiple guys who have won multiple green jackets, you guarantee they've won other majors. Nicklaus has won 6. Palmer's won 4. Tiger's won 4. Jimmy DeMeritt won 3 in the 40s. Sam Snead in the 40s and 50s won 3. Gary Player in the 60s and 70s won 3. Nick Faldo won 3. Phil's won 3. I mean, every one of these guys on this multiple list, all the way down to the guys that have won 2, including Bubba Watson, have won another major. I mean, Bubba's in the midst of it, so he hasn't, but he may not. It's just weird how this shows up for how his game shows up for this course and how they fit each other perfect, and he loves playing there and seems to be inspired when he gets there. And here's the thing about this year. He came in playing well. Like, he won last year. He wasn't even playing all that great. We didn't hardly see his name on the leaderboard at all until Augusta. But he's already played really well and got some top 5 finishes this year on tour. So zero surprise that he would be in there in the mix, and everybody picking him to win. this week, as everybody should. Jeff, let me ask you this. I know we talked a little on Tuesday because you chimed in and I was here sitting on Jeff's show, Fantasy Golf with Jeff Deal every Tuesday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, which I'm happy to jump on from time to time. We were going at it so hot and heavy and hard, between the three of us. We didn't really get a chance to ask you much, but if you're going to think outside the box, and I mean really outside the box, which is hard to do at Augusta because for all the reasons we just went through. I mean, do you think that is there a guy that jumps out at you that you think that maybe could surprise, and maybe if he doesn't win but shows up like in the top 5?
Well, it's not outside the box, but it's. But you know me, I'm always somehow pulling for Rickie Fowler. That's not an outside the box thing, but I'd love to see Rickie win.
Can I tell you, I think I'd be surprised if he won this week because he hasn't been playing very well.
Yeah, I mean, in that regard, it is outside the box. Another one I pull for that probably not that many people think has a chance to win is Patrick Reed. I mean, playing kind of semi-lame.
What's he got, a knee or bothering him?
They claimed that he stepped off a green and hyperextended his knee, but if you saw the sprint after the hole-in-one to the next tee box that he had with his caddy, I don't know how he could have. Apparently, that injury happened before that.
That's adrenaline, I guess.
I'm not sure how that happened.
Somebody playing you playing quarters in there?
Yeah.
Are you winning or losing?
Yeah.
So, that's not really going. I mean, my long shot that I thought this week that could do well isn't off to a great start. I thought the way he'd been playing, Ryan Moore, and he's off to a 2-over start through 10. He made the turn at 2-over. That's not great. But if you look and you run down some names, I mean, there's a guy like, J.B. Holmes has been playing great. He won last week in a playoff. The second time he's won this year is he lost in a playoff. He gave away was it the Honda?
I can't remember.
I mean, he ran out to a 10 under the first day and then limped home. I mean, wasn't that it, or was that Trump National? Does a guy like that have a chance? I mean, no one's talking about him. Does really, when you get into this, does anybody else have a chance? Than the big guns would you think of? I mean, does Hideki Matsuyama, Japanese star? I mean, I don't think he putts well enough to win.
He's not strong enough as a putter, especially at Augusta, I don't think, to win it. But wouldn't that be fabulous if he did?
Could you imagine? He's 21 also, or 22.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about Jordan Spieth and Rory McIlroy and here at Presswick Country Club here at the beach, we've got a Jay Smith, our good friend who's been on this show with us a couple weeks ago, does a pool every year for the Masters, and it's kind of neat. I got it right here. We were talking about it on Tuesday, Jeff. He gives you 8 categories, so you're picking 8 players, and there are 7 names in each category. Okay, and he breaks it down. You got American favorites, then you got Europeans, Aussies, Asians, or or Fiji. Then a second mix of Americans, then European, South Africans, and then a long shot category, which he calls Dreamers, right? So in the U.S. favorites, you only get to pick from Spieth, Mickelson, DJ, Cooch, Bubba, Sneds, and Jimmy Walker. That's it. You got to pick one of those guys. Then you got Justin Rose, Ian Poulter, Lee Westwood, Luke Donald, Graham McDowell, Rory McIlroy, Jamie Donaldson in the Europeans. That's it. You can't go outside the box. So you really have to stick with what he goes with, which is kind of neat.
Yeah.
On one of my I did 2. I turned in 2. You know what I did on one of them? I did an all under 25 team. And I bet the score is probably overall, there's a shot they're going to end up better than the first sheet I did.
Huh.
I got Jordan Spieth, Rory McIlroy, Jason Day, Hideki Matsuyama, Rickie Fowler. I think I cheated on Fowler because I think he's 26.
Maybe.
Victor Dubuisson, who's 24, the Frenchman. Brandon Grace at South Africa. He's young, but I don't think I might have cheated with him, but I don't think there is a guy under 25 in that one. And then Billy Horschel, who's right on that line too, or might be 26. So, but anyway, I went with all youngsters, and I bet you there's a shot that the combined score of all those guys is better than the combined score of the other sheet where I picked some veteran guys, where I went with Bubba and Patrick Reed and Rory and Sergio and Jason Day and Fred Couples and Louis Oosthuizen and Angel Cabrera. I'm going to look at, I did it on purpose, I'm going to look at the end of the week and see combined score, which ones end up being better, the old guys or the young guys. And even though it's at Augusta where, obviously this might be the one place where experience helps you, and I would contradict what I normally say, and I said experience doesn't mean squat, it's the hot golfer. But I would probably go against my own normal philosophy and say that Augusta is the one place where experience can help you.
Yeah.
As opposed to, hey, these young guys are playing great, doesn't matter. They're going to play better than the old guys because they're just playing better. The knowledge and the quirkiness of Augusta National is the great equalizer, I think, when it comes to...
And I think just experiencing the pressure, too, is a major benefit to somebody that's been there once, twice, or three times. I mean, I was watching Freddie Couples today as he was coming off the practice green. There's never been a more laid-back individual.
No.
And Freddie doesn't seem to be the least bit intimidated. There's no nerves. There's no twitches of any kind. I mean, he's just Freddie.
He just, in fact, he just teed off a few moments ago. He had 126. By the way, speaking of tee times, Tiger tees off here he's about to tee off. I would have bet you even money that he had an afternoon tee time today. What time's the TV coverage come on?
3.
Yeah. Tiger teed off at 2. About as late as you could. He's not the very last tee group. And speaking of the very last group, how did you like the last group of the day to be this? Listen to these last 4 groups. You want to talk about keeping your attention, knowing who they want to put on TV? 115 group, Jordan Spieth, Heinrich Stenson, Billy Horschel.
Yeah, wow.
Okay? Then right after them, Fred Couples. Well, he's really the only one in that group. 137, Luke Donald, Victor Dubuisson, and John Senden.
Who else is in there with Freddie, though?
Brandon Grace and Tongjai JD.
Tongjai JD?
Yeah.
I learned how to say that from George.
Tongjai JD. Listen, I tell you what, the guy's not a bad golfer.
No, he's a great golfer.
Then 148, Tiger, Jamie Donaldson, and Jimmy Walker. And then 159, the last group of the day, Jason Day, Sergio Garcia, Rickie Fowler.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, talk about end loading your...
TV pairing.
End loading, right?
Yeah.
You know who they want. I'm right, and you go even further up. Cooch, Brooks Koepka, Graham McDowell. I mean, you can tell they almost kind of end loaded a little bit for the first day of the TV coverage.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is I would have bet you my house that Tiger Woods would have had an afternoon tee time today. You can't tell me that the folks at Augusta and ESPN didn't get together and say, very first day, his first round back.
Absolutely.
He's got to be live on TV.
Absolutely.
Not,
no question about it.
let's show you what he did this morning, because if he goes out and lays an egg and shoots 79,
yeah,
no one's going to give a damn.
Yep.
And they're not even going to, why are you showing me the replay of how bad he played?
Yep.
If they're watching it live, they don't have a choice.
Well, there's a lot of people going to flock to see how he plays.
Of course there is.
Question about
why in the world? I mean, listen, if there's a way they could break the rules and him play in the afternoon 2 days in a row, he'd be playing in the afternoon tomorrow too.
Yeah.
To make, I'm telling you, he had to be in the afternoon today. Had to be. Because there's a 50-50 shot he shoots 78 today.
So you were betting he didn't make the cut, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I bet the professor and Jeff both that he's not making the cut. He hasn't played competitive golf in months. And he looked awful when he did. And his practice round where he said he felt so great, he shot 74. If he felt great in a practice round, shot 74, what's he going to shoot in competition feeling great? I mean, I'm just using the facts that have been presented to me. I know what that is. That's your cell phone.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm only going with the facts that are presented. I mean, let's face it. If you've listened to this show more than one time, you know I can't stand Tiger, so I'm a little bit slanted in this one anyway.
And you've also kind of you got a strong feeling that Lee Westwood will never win a major.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a couple things we learned.
There's a couple of
There's a couple things we learn about the Golfmonger early on that doesn't change.
Yeah. Lee Westwood will never win a major.
Yeah.
And I don't like Tiger Woods.
Let's get that out of the way right
in case
now.
you've never listened to the show before.
Yeah.
But and listen, would I be surprised if he plays well and plays and makes the cut and, is just enough to make people interested again? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all at a place like this. I thought he was going to come back and play at Arnold's event.
Yeah.
I didn't figure there was any way he'd miss that. And then take a couple of more weeks off, not go to Texas and then come back to play at Augusta. I thought he would have played at the API, but he didn't. I haven't seen anything to make me believe that he's going to play well. And if him feeling good and chipping well and striking the ball off the tee well led to a 74 in a practice round, why does that give me hope that he's going to shoot well? Because it's not a walking off the course after 11 holes like he did the last time he played?
Yeah.
Claiming he had a back problem? His back was bothering him? Yeah, he had the break an 80 back problem. Is what he had last time he teed it up. I don't know. You know what? And people talk. You get an argument with people about a discussion about, well, he's got to play for TV. The Masters is the one tournament of the year that it doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't believe for a second that he doesn't move the needle as much at Augusta because everybody's going to watch it.
Oh yeah.
If you're any kind of a golf fan, you watch the Masters, and the fringe people that he brings, they're still going to watch the Masters. If you've got any interest in golf at all, this is the one where it almost doesn't matter. And by the way, as an update as we're sitting here, Justin Rose through 15 is tied with Charlie Hoffman at 5 under. And I only bring that up because our producer here, man behind the glass, Jeff, had both of them as of yesterday on his fantasy team and then pulled them both
I
up.
pulled them both out. I did.
Listen, Charlie Hoffman would be one of those. I wouldn't have picked him, but now you're like, well, damn, if I would have had him and started him, you're not going to play him all week because he's not going to do.
No,
he's not going to keep that up.
Yeah.
He's not going to keep that up. Justin Rose is the one that could stay up there the whole time.
Yeah.
He's a defending U.S. Open champ. He did win the U.S. Open last year, didn't he? No, 2 years ago he won the Open.
Yeah.
Duh. He's a U.S. Open champion. He can stay on the top of a leaderboard at Augusta. He's got that kind of game, But Charlie Hoffman, you're not going to see him come Saturday anywhere near the top of the leaderboard. I would be very surprised. By the way, I can bet you anything you want to bet right now. Ben Martin does not win the Masters.
And you're basing that on?
He won the par 3 contest yesterday.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
That tradition remains
That's all
intact.
I need. That
Yeah.
tradition will remain intact. No one that's ever won the par 3, if you're not familiar, Augusta National, they do a par 3 on Wednesday. They have a separate course. It's a par 3 course there. And they do it for fun on Wednesday. And there's a prize and everything. But the winner of the par 3 on Wednesday has never gone on over the next 4 days and won the Masters. To the point where some guys won't play in it. My whole thing is, I'll play in it, but as soon as I think like I'm winning, I'm going to start missing putts. I'm gonna chunk a shot. I mean, why not? There were 5 hole-in-ones yesterday in that thing. Nicklaus had one, and believe it or not, that was Nicklaus's first hole-in-one ever at Augusta.
Was it really?
In the freaking par 3 yesterday on hole number 4, he hit it about 15 feet beyond the hole and sucked it back into the cup.
I saw the replay of it.
What's his name? Had 2 yesterday. It just escaped me. He's got the weird. He goes down like Spider-Man and look at the putts. What's his name? Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on his name. Camilo Villegas. He had 2.
Are you serious?
He had a hole on 4 and 8.
Huh.
And he lost in a 3-hole playoff to Ben Martin. Yeah,
So he's got a shot at the Masters.
Villegas does because he didn't win, but Martin does not. Speaking of who else is not going to win the Masters, based on history, anybody who's in their first go-round. Because if you take away the first 10 years of the event where it was almost everybody's first time.
Yeah.
The only person to win it in their first try is Fuzzy Zilla in 1979.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an amazing stat right there, too.
That shows you the intricate design and layout of Augusta National
And the pressure.
and the pressure and how knowing the course and knowing what side of the hole to leave the ball on and how this putt rolls and how, because you play there every year.
The zones of the greens.
The zones of the greens and the rolls of the fairways. Think about it. You have to know how far down the fairway under certain conditions you can hit it before the ball rolls off into the creek on 13 or, in the bank on number 12. You have to know where you can lay up on number 11 so it doesn't roll over into the water. I mean, there are a lot of places you just have to know where to hit the ball.
Yeah.
Almost like even if it was in the pitch dark. You just have to know, okay, when I'm teeing off on this hole, I have to hit this way. I don't care whether the wind's blowing or it's raining or sunny or whatever. On this hole, I have to hit there. No matter what my eyeball is telling me or my mind is, my feel is telling me, I know that I have to hit the ball over there because if I don't, it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
And experience, and you only get that by experience. And actually being there. I mean, we all watched it. Any of these young guys, 20-somethings that we've talked about that are competing today, guarantee they've watched this their whole life on TV. So you think you know what it looks like, and you think you know what's going to happen. Hell, all of us can sit here and say, oh, yeah, I know on number 11 you got to play it way out to the right because of the way the hill slopes and the ball roll right down into the bottom front right part of the green, then it's a chip and a putt. Okay, well, that's great, but go do it. We all know where you have to play on, how you have to play amen corner. We watch it all the time. Why is he hitting over there? That ball's never going to stay. Well, of course. But I'm sure that's not what he tried to do. There's also execution involved. So it is a place like, what's Jim Nantz always say? It's a place like no other.
Yeah.
The Masters is very, very unique. It's the only major where you play the same place all the time. And that's why you see the same names on the leaderboard a lot of the times. Even if they're not winning, the names that are going to be hovering around, for the most part. So I'm just excited. We'll give a little plug for our Sunday coverage while we're here before we wrap it
let's do
up.
that. Yeah.
Sunday, when the TV coverage kicks off, which I believe is 2 o'clock.
I think it's around 2, yeah.
It's 2 o'clock. So we may come on a little early.
Yeah.
Preface.
Yep.
Easter time here in the States, we are going to have live from North Myrtle Beach at the Masters.
Yeah. We also have some live reports coming in from the Godfather.
We do.
Who's
we
there.
do. He's
playing East Lake today. And he's gonna call us as soon as he finishes his round at East Lake. He'll also file a report Friday, Saturday, and he'll be talking to us live during our coverage on Sunday.
Excellent. So we have a man on the ground.
We do. Yeah.
Nice. So there'll be the good folks at East Coast Golf Management are helping put this on with us, right?
Yep.
They'll be here. We'll have
Umberto's is going to cater.
Umberto's is catering. We'll have El Presidente in the house, Mr.
Yep.
Mike Busseroni.
Yep.
Our good friend Jimmy Biggs.
Yep.
The professor's going to show up, I think.
Yeah, that professor said he'd be in for a
Gene
while.
Weldon will be here. Me, you, probably have Shan with us, I guess.
Yeah. Yep.
Speaking of, Shan got to go to her first Masters.
Yeah, I know.
I have yet to be.
She hasn't hit the ground yet.
I have yet to be. I walked in and she hugged me, and she seemed like she was taller.
Yeah.
Like you said, her feet weren't touching.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Good for her. I haven't been yet, and it's
I haven't
definitely
either.
a bucket
Yeah,
list
I'm jealous.
thing. And I'm very jealous, and
Yeah.
it just doesn't go. TV doesn't do it justice, is what everybody says. As awesome as it looks on TV, it's a million times better in person.
And I sat back here the day before yesterday and talked to the professor about playing Augusta, and his experiences there. And holy mackerel, man! I mean, it's a great experience just to get to go, but to be among those few who can say they've played it is pretty cool.
Yeah, no kidding. It's no kidding. It's like when I used to work in Pinehurst, and the Open was at number 2. Not this past time, but in 05 when I was there. Walking the course on a practice day, talking to a guy who's born and raised in Pinehurst. Just talking about the course. He used to play it every Saturday. Just amazing, the knowledge. And
Yep.
while they're hitting shots, while they're watching the guys practicing, walking with groups, hitting shots, and then listening to him talk about it was way better than any color commentary I could have got on TV or,
Yep. No
or
kidding.
anything.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal. And that's just number 2. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not even Augusta National. That's something else. If you ever get a chance to play a course where the pros play, it's amazing. I've had the fortunate experience to play the Ocean course down at Kiowa, where they had the PGA a couple of years ago, and it's amazing. You see it on TV, and then you play it, and you're like, wow. It's different. So, well, we're gonna wrap things up. I've picked Bubba Watson. It was my pick. I'm sticking with it. Ryan Moore, even though he was not off to a good start, was my long shot. Although I like DJ if it rains. If it starts raining, because he's always done well in those kind of conditions. To be a little bit of a local homer, I'd like to see him do well. I think he would have a good shot, and someone none of us has ever talked about. None of us really talked about even Tuesday. Don't be surprised, because he's in pretty good form too. Is if he can get the putter going, is Brant Snedeker.
Yeah. Yeah, you made a comment. If he gets it going, it's good. But he has a problem if it's not going, turning it on.
That's just it. And and that sometimes is the difference between a good player and a great player. When it's not, like when Sneds has got it going, he putts as good as anybody.
Yep.
But he can't get it to start going.
If it ain't there,
if it's not there. Yeah. He can't find it mid-round. Yeah, he can't find it mid-round.
Yep.
And a lot of times that's the difference. Being able to, you miss a putt the first 5-6 holes, you haven't made one yet, but keep going. You see one go in, then you see two go in, and the next thing you know, you're on a roll. You make the third one, and boom. He doesn't do that.
Yeah.
So he's got to hope to have it going from the get-go. So, well, I'm super excited. It's Masters week. As we go off here, it's still Justin Rose and Charlie Hoffman at -5. Sorry, Jeff.
It's all right.
For the first day. Lot of golf left. Don't forget, Sunday, 1:30, 2 o'clock, we'll be on the air.
We'll stay on throughout the
the entire finish of the event. It'll be lots of fun.
Yeah.
We did it with the Ryder Cup, and we're gonna do it with all the majors this year, right?
Yes, we are.
Awesome. Can't wait. Happy to be a part of it. The Golf Director radio and TV are produced and broadcast, as always, by the Zeus Radio Network for thegolfdirector.com. When you're visiting the Golf Director, be sure to check out our featured golf course pages. You'll find up-to-date information on course conditions, specials, and more. Need help with your next golf vacation? Hashtag just call Dave. That's right, Big Dave's always in the back here. 844-464-6531, 844-GO-GOLF1. All the programming here is archived for listening and viewing on demand. Catch up on a show you may have missed. Click on TGD Radio and TGD TV tabs in the menu at thegolfdirector.com. We're available on over 1 billion devices. That's with a B, the billion. iTunes, Audio Realm, TuneIn, YouTube, Ustream, Roku. That's Roku, by the way. Blueberry and the Myrtle Beach Golf app. That's right. Hit up the Myrtle Beach Golf app. It's a super cool app. I'm Brian Steffen. I am the Golfmonger. You've been listening to the Golfmonger Show. Thanks for Jeff behind the glass, hitting the buttons, keeping us on the air. There's more great Golf Director news and information coming up next, so stay tuned and keep it in the short grass.